where we cut through the noise and focus on what truly drives your success. We are your hosts, Coach Ablaza, and
And Coach Mark.
here we dive into the strategies, mindsets, and habits that help you thrive in your business and in your life. Coach Mark is a business brilliance coach assisting businesses through his virtual summits, in person conferences, and coaching program. He is an international transformational speaker and recipient of the Lifetime Achievement Award for service from the Biden administration in 2024.
And Coach Ablaza is a branding expert, mindset coach, and the CEO of Pink Collar Brands. She's helped hundreds of female entrepreneurs build strong, profitable brands and turn their dreams into real businesses, profitable ones at that.
I bet.
Yes.
Yes.
So, are you ready to level up and focus on what really pays off? Let's get started, coach.
Let's get started. Let's get started with today, episode 7. You're the brand. A lot of people start businesses thinking that the business is the brand. However, you are the first brand that we should start with. You have to build authority before you're well known.
That's right. Coach, I want to go ahead and jump in. Basically, a few things I was talking about because one of the things that I started out my business, started my business out with was aligning people with their core values.
Mm-hmm.
And if someone is going to be properly branded, they
Yeah.
need to define their core. So
Mm.
so we need to know what we're here for, and we need to ask ourselves if my name came up in a room
Mm.
and I wasn't in that room,
Mm.
what words would I want people to use to describe me? And that's a powerful thing because most of us either have great advocates in those rooms or people that don't even know anything about us. So by talking about us, we get minimized because they don't know.
Mm.
So we need to really know what we're about. And then we need to live those values daily in both small and big actions. And then aligning our identity, clarity with our personal mission. I
Mm.
need to be able to express my mission. I was telling you earlier, Coach, I had a high profile call with
Yes.
an individual, and I said, okay, if I could just get 15 minutes of your time, and they said, Mark, you have 3. And I was like, okay, and I had to hit it. So we need to be able to refine what we're about quickly. And we all heard it before, your elevator pitch, right?
Yes.
And then building trust through reputation. I've got to be able to build trust with people. Um, I can say, Coach, that if someone asks me, Mark, I'm looking for somebody to talk about branding. Who would you recommend? Because of your reputation, Coach Ablaza, you are the
Yes.
first person that will come to my mind.
Mm.
Not
Yes.
not just because that's what you do, because
Mm-hmm.
that's what you do well.
Right.
And when I put my name on anybody, I'm also putting my credibility out there.
Mm-hmm.
So we can't expect people to really, you my boy, you got to put me down. Not necessarily, you know,
Right. That's the truth.
because I need to put you down if it's going to further my mission as well.
Exactly.
It's not necessarily, and people might not like this, but it's not necessarily being loyal to those that you know if they won't represent you well.
Yes.
And I just wanted to get those couple things off my chest, Coach.
Yes.
What you got for us next?
Very important things, by the way. What I have for you is I just want to break this down a little bit further. Today, we want to empower entrepreneurs, especially those just starting out, to own their expertise, show up with authority, and build brand credibility before they become well known. And a part of that is what Coach Mark was just letting you know that before you walk into the room, your brand will walk into the room. If you're just getting started, you'll know it as your reputation walking into the room. So you have to make sure that at your core, you are the brand and who you are supposed to be. And like he said, have that elevator pitch ready. A lot of people think they need money to get started. You need a mindset to get started. You need your reputation to get started. You know, it's a clean slate. And that's what you really need. So let me break this down. Here's the truth. You are the brand, not your logo, not your website, not your follower count. You. If somebody gets on your page and you have 1 million followers, but you don't have any substance, you have no core, you have no elevator pitch, it's going to be a bunch of nothing on your page. So what does that look like? If I do branding on my page, you're going to see me talking about branding. If I do motivational speaking, you're going to see some motivation on there. If I say I'm a baker, you're going to see some cakes on there. But if you
Mm-hmm.
told them your brand was one thing and you're posting about another thing all the time, it's not going to be clear. We're going to tell you how to position yourself as an expert, even in the beginning today, even when you're just getting started. Tell us, Coach Mark, they're already qualified. Can you break that down, please?
Listen, Coach. Let me say it like this, and let me not trip anybody up by think. Don't think that I'm going the religious route when I say this, but I want to use a religious figure. Okay, I want to use Jesus as a figure, and I want to say that he was congruent, and what that means is what he said and what he did matched. Okay, and so if what you say, because Coach, you broke it down beautifully. You said you
Yes.
might not have been calling something a brand, you might have been calling it your reputation, but they are the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And because they're the same thing, you got to come out hard, and you got to come out to a place where folk will recognize you. We got to be showing up. I'm sorry, Coach, I lost something here.
Yes.
You ask me my question again, Coach.
Oh, okay. I was telling you, they talk about how many times they heard people say, "I'm not ready. I'm still learning. I need more credentials." Can you cover that?
Sure, sure. So if we are the brand, uh, we want to show up professionally, right? We want to have a clear niche. Niche? What do we talk about, Coach? We talk about what's your avatar?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, who are you
Mm-hmm.
talking to? Know your voice. Know that you are. I think as I talk, Coach, I try to be on the listener's side too, and make sure that I'm making sense. And what we're really saying is you have to believe in yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I show up and I believe myself and I know my voice and I present in a convincing way, I have to realize that if I'm telling my story, it's no need for me to be nervous because nobody knows my story like me.
Oh, you get me started. Go ahead. Yes.
Okay. so
That's the
so
truth.
where do the nerves come in? Where
Right.
does the imposter syndrome come in? Where does the
Mm,
fear come in if I'm
mm,
simply sharing a part of me? And so
right.
what we want people to do is be encouraged about who they are and what they've been through.
Yes.
And sometimes, Coach, I'm gonna throw it back to you, but before I do, let me say this. Every story or every adventure or every experience that you have is not meant to be shared with everyone.
Mm,
Okay. And so
okay.
when we talk about branding, when we talk about authenticity, when we talk about credit, we're not talking about uh, transparency to the level of being uncomfortable. If you haven't dealt with a situation,
Mm-hmm.
then you need to deal with it before you're comfortable enough to share it with anyone. And there's a
Mm,
practicality behind that, Coach. If you haven't dealt with it, then the piece that we need, which is the lesson that you've gleaned, is not
mm,
ready yet. It's
mm.
still in the oven. And so we don't want no half baked cakes. You know what I'm saying?
Mark.
My
We don't
bad.
have cakes. Hello. You are
My,
funny.
my
Mm.
bad, Coach. What else you got for me?
Okay, man, you did well. Well. I was, he said, why are you nervous telling your own story? Okay. I, I think you looped it in on the back end because the only nervousness that you might have is that you're still in the situation. And if you're ashamed of the situation, that's something you need to change. You got two options actually on changing it. You change the situation or you change your attitude about it.
That's right.
You should not be nervous to tell your story. I am not nervous to tell you that almost 8 years ago, I had a job. Les Brown, our mentor, likes to call that the journey of the broke. While I had this job, I was depressed, unmotivated, I was overweight. I was a lot of things that who would want to be all that? The sad fact that 99% of people are these things, and there are these things every day. That's 100% of the days. And I want to tell you, I'm on it. There's 1% of people that are going to listen to this podcast. Shout out to you, okay? Put some fire in the
Shout
chat.
out. Shout
You're in that
out.
1%. You're in that 1% because you're watching a podcast and not a TV show. That's in that 1%. There's a book called Atomic Habits. It says you only have to be 1% better a day. 1% better a day. Make sure you're writing this down. As always, as much as I mention Notion, they need to cut me a check. Okay? It's called Notion, Notion. I wanted to just start with that. I feel like Coach Mark talked about owning your story and speaking on what you know. I'm going to talk about using proof points. Okay? Write that down. Use proof points. The proof points that you have is also called social proof, proving to the people in your area, social media, your target audience, your target clients. These are people that you want to hire you for a product, a service, a speaking engagement, etc. Shop with you. You can use testimonials, results, certifications, life experiences, and the end of it says just share them. What is a testimonial? A testimonial is someone saying, hey, I bought this lipstick from Coach Ablaza. Coach Ablaza, I bought this from Mac. So let's do the real one. I'm Coach Ablaza. I brought this lipstick from Mac. It is pink. It is very sheer. I love it. It moistened my lips. Now that's a good testimonial. A bad testimonial, if you have a bad brand, I would say I bought this lipstick. I left it in the car 20 minutes. It's melted. It cost me $20. You guys need to do better. Okay? These are testimonials. When you have any size brand, I don't like using the word small. We can say you're at the start. When you have any size brand, testimonials are going to help you elevate quicker because that's social proof. That's proof that you're doing what you said you were going to do. Results. Results could be you decorate an event space. So you're an event planner, you decorate an event space, you show the before, you show the after. That is a result. Certifications. Les Brown gave Dr. Mark and I a certification from being in his speaking program. We are trained by a speaker that has been speaking for 53 years. Now our brand doesn't have to do all the work. Les Brown has done the legwork for 53 years, and that certification shows that we are under somebody that's been doing this for 53 years. That's why it's important to invest into yourself, to invest into business brilliance, to invest into brand better now. These are some of the brands that Dr. Mark and I have. Next, life experiences. Like we said, own your story. Speak on what you know. That is your life experience. Tell people how you went from level 1, which is the ground level, to level 10. A lot of us think that success is just being a millionaire. Success is being 1% better a day. Success is having testimonials for your brand. Whether you started it yesterday or you started it 10 years ago, success is what you make it. It's everything is about mindset. We think that we're on a journey to success, and we think at the end of that journey is a destination. However, you're getting stuck in the destination. It is about the journey. Life is a journey. Your business is going to be on a journey. There's not a destination. That's why some people, they do reach destinations and then they stop. But we never want you to stop what you are doing. Coach Mark, tell us, how do you show up consistently?
Well, Coach, you just hit a nerve there because anything that stops at a destination flatlines.
Mm,
Once you stop, you're done.
yep.
And so, and if you're looking to just get somewhere, and I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna cut it. Okay, you asked me a question. So that's how I got off track last time. You be hitting them nerves. Okay. So showing up consistently, visibility, coach, that gives us credibility. People want to know before they invest in anything that you do, anything that I do, anything that any of our listeners do. They want to know that we're not a one-hit wonder or overnight sensation. They want to know that they can come back and get something later. So we have to show up even on those days when we don't feel like it. You know, uh, people think that, man, y'all on this podcast, you don't understand. I hardly made it to the podcast. Well, sometimes so did we. You know, but we are committed to do what's necessary to go to the next level. Being committed and showing up consistently doesn't mean that it's easy to show up. It means that you are ready to show up because you are connected to your vision, connected to your people, and you want to be seen, be heard, and be clear about what you're doing. You know, and let me ask you a question about this next point we want to make, Coach, about developing a signature language. Now, it's one thing, I kind of poked fun at you last week and you straightened me out. I said, wait a minute, I don't see no pink today. And you said, you don't see it all. I got the pink on. But what I want to know, Coach, is when I see you in that pink, where did that come from? How did you develop that as a signature language for us to know when we see you, we're going to see some pink collar brand situation?
Yes, pink collar brand situation. What happened was, Coach Mark,
Mm-hmm.
years ago, I'm thinking 6, 7 years ago, when I first started everything I was doing, I was a graphic designer. And even then, I knew you had to have a brand color to attract the audience that you wanted. At the time, and even still to today, I love helping women. I love helping female entrepreneurs. Love helping business owners of every size. And women, those are my people. That's my person. You know how they say that? Those are my people.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever you want to attract certain audience, if you want to attract men, you can use blue, green, red. But also these colors do mean other things. Blue means trust. Okay? Mind the business that pays you. Mind. We want you to trust us with helping you with your mindset. The business that pays you, money. Money is green. You have to use that color to attract the audience. And when you build a brand, everything matters. Let's say you have a business that makes swimming suits. Water is blue. It might make sense to put some blue in your logo. It might make sense to put some waves in your logo. Everything matters when you're building a brand. So that's how I got the pink. And also, it helps people remember me. Who is out here wearing all pink or half pink or pink earrings? Who's doing that? Pink shoes. Okay.
Coach
When
Ablaza.
yeah, coach, when you have something to help people remember you by, you just sit in their mind. There's something called 7-11-4. And I was talking about this for a while, so I'm going to be a little rusty on it. However, 7-11-4, I believe it's either in the Key Person of Influence book. I have it right up here by Daniel Priestley. But you want to be in front of someone for 7 hours, 11 places, and 4 interactions. I believe that's it. When you reach 7 hours, so this podcast right here will be about 30 minutes. That's a part of our 7 hours. So it takes about 14 episodes to get everyone on here to be like, I love them. Because, like, who wouldn't love Coach Ablaza and Coach Mark? Hello.
Right, right.
11 interactions. They might comment on our post and we comment back. That's 1 interaction. 4 places. Now business and social media is easier than ever. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, those are 4 places. And let's just say you see us in person at an event. That's a part of the 4 places that you see someone. So once you hit that 7-11-4, just like you think you know a celebrity, they'll think that they know us. Well, they will know us because we're good people.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And let me give you some social proof. I was in Las Vegas about a month and a half ago, and I saw an actress. I don't even know her name, um, which is crazy, right? I saw an actress, and she walked by me, and I said, "Do I know her?" And she was from the show Snowfall. I don't know if you've heard of that, Coach Mark. Snowfall. You heard of that?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Franklin Saint's mom. That's who it was. I don't know if her name is Cece Seeley. I don't know what it is on there. But I saw her and I felt like I knew her. And that's because I've seen that show over and over again. It proved that the 7-11-4 works. 7 hours, 11 interactions in 4 places. Coach Mark, give it to us. What you think about that?
Well, let me be careful how I share this next story.
Okay.
Uh, because I called my daughter and because I was like let me start out. I was in a public restroom.
Okay.
Okay, I was in LAX and I was washing my hands and I looked up and I told the gentleman, I said, "Where do I know you from?"
Yeah.
And I'm not usually one that will talk to a man in the bathroom. Okay,
Yeah.
that's why I kind of hesitate. But
Right.
everything was cool.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, Attorney Ben Crump. I said, "Oh, got it." Now, the only reason I don't have a picture with him is because I wasn't going to be waiting for a man to come out the bathroom
Right. Right.
to take a
Seriously.
picture with him. I felt like I just had a good experience,
That's
you
good.
know? But it's the same like you're saying. Now, it's funny how things work because 2 months later, after I shared that story with my daughter,
Yeah.
she's in college in Florida. She sends me a picture. Dad, guess who our speaker was today? Boom, Ben Crump. I said, wow.
Wow, that is crazy.
So that was very, very crazy. But, Coach, I tell you what, people might have a question.
Yes.
What is the asset? What am I building? What am I building around?
Okay. Yes.
You
Yes.
are the asset.
Yes.
And I'm gonna share one more thing about my daughter. She's
Okay.
Miss Ed Waters now. She went down there. She's in her 4th year. She's ready to go to law school. When she was still in high school, one day she was ready to go out, and she had a what's some things y'all ladies put on your head before you go to bed?
About it.
Yeah, she had on a bonnet. And I said, "Excuse me, Kim, uh, where you going?" "I'm going to school, Daddy." I said, "Not with that on, baby." I said, we I don't know what everybody else does, but we don't do that. And
Right.
she got a little, you know,
Yeah.
because that's what she was seeing. She wanted to fit in.
Yeah.
But once she caught it,
Mm.
now she's glamour girl. She would never do that. But I think Papa Mark just got to say, sometimes you got to be a parent and not a friend,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because our youth are trying to navigate through a whole bunch of garbage out here.
Mm.
And
Right.
we have to be at a place where we can say, hold on, love you, baby, but not that. No, no, we're not doing that. She appreciates it now, but I think I was like not up for Father of the Year at that time, you know?
That's funny.
so, so go ahead, Coach. I was just bringing up to say that we are the brand. Somebody
We are.
sees you, you
Yeah.
know, they need to see you in a presentable way at all times.
That is true. Make sure you guys write that down. You are the brand. And I
Mhm.
just want to say that a lot of people think that parenting stops at 18 years old, but it doesn't stop. Like Coach Mark said, you are not the friend, you are the parent. There is a time where your kids get old enough that, you're a little friendlier. However, you still do have to do your job. Let's break
Yeah.
this down. When I say you are the brand, I want you to show up professionally, have a clear niche, know your voice, lead with value and not just visuals. Don't wait for the stage. Do not wait for the stage. Prepare now. You can do these type of things with your brand by posting on social media, going live. The 7-11-4 that I spoke of only works if you show up. Coach Mark talked about being consistent earlier. The reason that I'm able to partner with people, the reason that I'm able to get speaking engagements, be invited to events, be a, get awards, certifications, just all type of stuff is because I show up. The only thing I have to do is send my digital resume. What is a digital resume, Coach? My Instagram. I send
Mm.
platform that I am the most active on. Once they see my Instagram, once they see Les Brown is brand credibility. But however, I am the person that I say I am. I show up consistently. I show up as me, and I'm not a hypocrite. You cannot be a hypocrite in the business. You cannot be a hypocrite in your personal brand, their business brand. You cannot. You have to be selling what you say you're selling. You have to have a spirit of excellence. Okay? Now, Coach Mark was telling us that we're the asset. That is true. Your knowledge, your energy, your experience, it all matters. People follow people, not products, not pitches at all times, but you. We have to start with you. Coach Mark said, why would he didn't say it like this, but I am very extra out. I think we know that by now. You cannot leave the house in nobody. You have nobody on. Okay?
Period.
Coach Mark, here's the thing. Times they have changed. Some people on the internet, they are very ghetto and they have an audience too. I don't want to discourage anybody because some people be like, well, I can't show up, my hair is not done. I want to tell you, get you a regular brush that hair. You don't need no makeup. You don't need nothing to show up at first. But what Coach Mark is saying, you do need to know that you do need to operate in a spirit of excellence at all times, whatever that may be, that aligns with your brand. Okay, your face is a part of the brand. Your voice is a part of the brand. Your integrity is a part of the brand. You can build authority long before you go viral. I have built authority for the past 7 going on 8 years. I have showed up when I didn't even feel like showing up. That is the difference between being consistent and being stagnant. I used to go live 3 times a day. 1, 2, 3 times a day. So within those 3 times, there was times that I did not feel like showing up. I'm sure, and I don't even know if this is still on there, but I done cried on a couple lives because I still showed up. I
Gotta
still
show up.
showed up on my rough days. And that's the vulnerability that people want to see. The only person being that is perfect is God, Jesus, and the Holy Spirit. And notice I did not say you. I did not say me. I did not say Coach Mark. Therefore, we are imperfect people showing up to other imperfect people. You have to show up as you because they're not perfect. And if you're acting like you're perfect, they cannot see themselves inside of that. Coach Mark, tell us
Coach,
what you come on.
let me say this, Coach. I'm glad you revisited that because I want to give it a little bit of background.
Yes.
I know that my daughter desires to be an attorney.
Mm-hmm.
I know that she
Hmm.
desires some really good things. She just took her LSAT. She's in her senior year of college. I knew when she was a freshman what she wanted to do, and even before she left home from high school. So
Mm-hmm.
let me just give it the caveat of this, because you're absolutely right. People show up differently. With the dreams and hopes and aspirations that she shared with me as her father, she's sharing that with me so that I can keep her on a good path. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
because I've been around a little longer than her. And so for the path that she had chosen, a bonnet was not acceptable. Now, you just reminded me of somebody that I see, that I have seen on Facebook that has a whole bunch of followers that sometimes she wears a bonnet. Now, she has reached the people that she wants to reach and
Mm-hmm.
she's comfortable, but that just
Mm-hmm.
was not the level that my daughter wanted to go. Not saying
Exactly.
anything is wrong with that level. So
Exactly.
let's just clarify that. And so you breaking that down a little more helped me realize that I needed to say that because sometimes people say, well, he this, he that. No, he understands what's at stake. He
Right.
understands that some people have to be a lot better than other people to go get forward. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
He won't go
Mm-hmm.
no further on that. Those who need to get that will catch it. Okay. And I understand that my daughter has some tall and high goals,
Mm-hmm.
and she
Mm-hmm.
don't want nobody looking back at a picture on something that she did 5 years ago and using that as a disqualifier,
Exactly.
because
Exactly.
they will.
Yep. That's true.
I
Thank you for
feel
bringing
like
that.
Forrest Grump, but that's all I have to say about that.
Oh, sorry, you are funny. Okay, let me tell you guys what we talked about today. Write it down. You're already qualified. We gave you some tips for new entrepreneurs on how to position yourself. We talked about you versus your brand, and we talked about you are the asset. If you're ready to stop shrinking and start standing in your power, this is your reminder. You don't have to be famous to be impactful. Actually, Eric Thomas said, we're so focused on being famous that sometimes we don't even reach our impact. He says, you're not ready to be eating your lunch and somebody come up to you and be like, hey, let me get a picture real quick. Eric Thomas said, I am a servant leader. They want to pick while I'm eating lunch. His wife said, hey, they paying the bills. Go ahead and take the picture. Some of us are ready to be eating lunch and somebody come up to us and pull us to the side while we're eating lunch. You have to really be humble. You really have to have a good mindset and a people person to even be famous. I want you guys to focus on not being famous, but reaching impact, because impact brings the income. You don't have to be popular to be profitable. There is people that don't have a lot of followers on social media that they're balling out. And
Killing
that's,
it.
hey, you know what? I'm gonna look at one. Anyways, we don't want you, we don't want nobody to know your pocket. Next, you are the brand. You are the brand. I want you guys to share this with someone who's building from the ground up. Coach Mark, what you got for them before we get up out of here today?
All I have to say is this. Was it Obama who said, "We are the change that we've been looking for"?
Mm,
If you want to make a difference, then go ahead and make a difference. You don't
mm,
need permission.
nope.
You need preparation, which you can do by listening to great podcasts like this and others, and
Yes.
getting some mentors and some coaches in your life. And
Yes.
then you will be a mentor or coach one day. So do what you need to do to go to that next level and share some love. Love and happiness. That's what Al Green said.
Love and happiness. I love that, Coach Mark. We are the change. Man, I remember, and this is a testimonial of where I've been. I remember being in coaching programs. I remember wanting to be friends with my mentors, and I realized that I'm the one that's going to bring forth the change. Investing into yourself and you're not ready to put in the work, that does not work. You are the change. I love that. Thank you for sharing that. I want to tell you today, thank you for tuning into the Mind the Business That Pays You podcast. If today's episode brought you value, make sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with a friend who needs to hear this. Remember, your success story starts with focusing on what truly matters. Until next time, keep minding the
The
business that
business
pays
that
you.
pays you.
Hello. Tune in next week, same place, same time. We're on all social media platforms. Share us out. See you later.
Peace out.